Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League, where the grind continues, where playoffs are now continuing. Speed, joining me in the booth, man. How are you doing? Are you ready?
I'm ready, dude. It's playoffs time. We're talking about playoffs. We got the Asterisks, aka Hellcats, for those of you when you see it on stream, versus the Gryphons tonight. A nice little 3-6 matchup here in the Challenger League, and I'm excited for this. Should be a good one.
Yeah, honestly, both these teams, I mean, in my opinion, very similar. Like they both ended the season pretty hot. The Griffins went like 7-2 to end the season. The Hellcats went 6-3 to end the season. Both these teams really, very strong. One would have like ended the season 11-7 in the Griffins. Hellcats ended in 12-6. We want to take a look at the bracket real quick. Before we get going, we are a little behind. Just a quick look at the bracket. I mean, Hellcats and Gryphons, like you said, 3-6 matchup. They go on to play Ascension, or Snowstorm, probably Ascension. But I mean, like this 3-6 matchup, honestly, these are probably some of the strongest 3-6 teams in my opinion. Like, I don't know. I think Griffins actually like are a really strong 6 seed. Speed, we gotta go quick here, man. I'm gonna go ahead and give my prediction. I got Griffins in 4. This is gonna be a clean sweep. This is the strongest 6 seed you'll see in a while. I ain't gonna cap.
Yeah, I definitely think this is, out of all the leagues, like you said, arguably one of the strongest 3-6 matchups. I know that that rival one's pretty spicy too,
Cap.
which we'll see later this week. But definitely Hellcats Griffins neck and neck in record wise. Um, very, very close. I mean, you got Mealey, you got J Rod and Kiwi on the side of the Griffins, and Strauto, Aeon, and Sky Newbie on the side of the Hellcats. With the super sub Lucky, which a lot of people think Lucky should be starting on this Hellcats team, but they've gotten it here without him so far this season since he's been promoted up from the Prospect League. But we are underway here, Flip, as that one's going to be a pretty good even 50 kicked off.
Yeah, and already we're getting a demo out of J-Rod, and I mean, J-Rod's gonna get some demos, but I expect Mealy to get some demos. Sky Newbie also getting in some of that physicality. Man, I was gonna say Chimeras, because I see J-Rod. He's always on Chimeras, but no, it's the Griffins. He's down in Chally. This man, Griffins team is led, spearheaded, I feel like, by J-Rod and Mealy. Kiwi is a solid player, but those two are going to be the ones that you want to look out for. J-Rod was second in goals per game. Mealy was like fifth in assists per game. Like, those two, definitely a dynamic duo. I want to see them early strike hard. So far, not a whole lot of shots coming through, except for Alpha Strauto with a great 50 off the ceiling as well, bouncing straight in. What a first goal here to start off this series.
And that's great by Strauto there. He gets that ball in the corner, he plays it high, and then has the boost to be able to follow through and get that 50, knowing that Mealy has to dive on that and not allow him to have an easy air dribble attempt. And just great play there by Strauto, starting it off early for the Hellcats. But Kiwi's trying to make something happen, but he's going to send one at counter offer just wide.
Yeah, but it's still an opportunity here. J-Rod with a nice touch, and Kiwi with the shot. Sky Newbie gonna have that save there. Mealy, not a lot of boost to work with, so J-Rod's gonna cut for him. A good cut there. That ball floating now as Strauto tries to get a touch. Mealy thought he had it, but does not get a touch in the end. Aeon popping that ball high. That's super awkward. Guess who's there? Sky Newbie trying to keep that ball down. Aeon still able to get to it. That pass was just a little behind him, but Kiwi now has some time. Tries to cut it inside. Strato's there. Strato with the 50, but Kiwi wins that one to the corner. Aeon with a nice touch around one. Aeon with a player mid. Oh, two players commit on the side of Griffins. An open net, and Strato doesn't miss that one.
And just the man I wanted to see really step up and really help Strauto here in this game was Aeon, beating all three defenders on the Griffins, making a beautiful pass out in front of Strauto so he can just put it on in net. And he's going to give themselves a 2-0 lead here very early on in this game. And Griffins need to get a little momentum going here in this game number 1, and don't let Hellcats run away with this game or this series.
So far, not gonna lie, Griffin seemed a little bit more, I would say, just like uncoordinated than I expected. These challenges, they're not challenging for each other. A couple double commits, as we saw in that last goal. So far, seems like the better team plays have come from the Hellcats. Mealy now trying to start one team play of his own. A double commit turns into a save for the Hellcats there. J-Rod with no boost, he can't get to it. Strato, that's going to happen a lot, is going to get a touch on that one. Aeon's going to try to pass that one mid. J-Rod with one touch and just kind of giving that ball away. It's a 3-3-on-1. Definitely not what you want to see there if you are a Griffins fan. J-Rod passes that ball mid. Kiwi's there. The shot not going to go through, and Aeon's going to have a touch high. Mealey going to try to get around one, and he does. Kiwi gets a demo when he bounces off of it into the ball, messing up his teammates. A little unfortunate there, but still, you got to continue playing as Kiwi couldn't get a touch there. Skynubi with the beat. That one to the corner. J-Rod over one. J-Rod has two players mid and he passes to nobody. J-Rod needs to make that play happen. Oh, great 50 there from Aeon. And once again, another 3-on-1 opportunity speed. I'm seeing them. I'm just not seeing any converting out of the Gryphons here.
Yeah, they need to look like the Hellcats did. Hellcats, Aeon had the defenders deep, but he elected to go for the pass. And there we saw J-Rod try to go for the shot back post instead of passing to his teammates. And that's what we need to see in this Challenger League. This is how you're going to beat teams, is good passing plays. You guys have the skill and the ability to do it. You just have to really focus on it. There's time and place for solo plays, and that was not one of them.
Yeah, time and place indeed. So far, though, it seems like, Hellcats haven't had a whole lot of opportunities since those first two goals that they got, but still a 2-0 lead for them. They just have to hang on. J-Rod trying to cut this lead in half, trying to get a beat on two. Does get a 50 in the end, but that's all the Hellcats players really committed. Mealey not going to get a touch, but Aeon's pops way high as Skynubi barely gets a touch after getting bumped by Mealey. Doesn't have any boost to work with. His QB shot going to go high, and Aeon's going to send it wide as well. Mealey waiting for a pass. Oh, he's not going to get the touch there. J-Rod was in the midfield. J-Rod gets a demo, trying to relieve a little bit of pressure. Kiwi able to get one touch. Skynubi's there, though. Still, that ball going to fall to Kiwi once again. Kiwi with one small touch, dodges a demo, gets a flick over. Another great play there from Kiwi. He's trying to find a pass mid. Not going to happen as Alpha Strauto all over that one. As Mealey gets the 100 boost and just clears that one. Aeon in the corner, 83 boost. Mealey going to try to drop that one mid, and hey, man, the ghost second man was there, I promise. Mealey with a great pass. No one there on the side of Gryphons. Kiwi now trying to do the same thing, but doesn't have the boost to get the pass off. It seems like the Gryphons are just one step short of making their plays work, and it's either the passer not being able to get it past or the shooter not being there to shoot. So far, it seems like the Gryphons are starting to ramp things up. It's just the final piece is not clicking. And with 30 seconds left, they got to make something click here, Speed.
Yeah, they do. I love it. They're attempting it. They're trying it. They're just being a little slow, and that could chalk down to, game one, playoff nerves, right? You're on stream, but final 18 seconds, trying to get one for the road to get a little momentum here. J-Rod gets the 50, but no, that one's going to be sent away by Aeon here with 10 seconds to go.
And with 10 seconds left, it's all but wrapped up here for the Hellcats to win game one, ruining my prediction already. Good job, Flip. You are such a great mastermind. As Kiwi try to get one for the road. J-Raw, it's going to go not in as it hits the ground, and Asterix going to take that first game here. Great win here, and honestly, I do think, like I said, it did start to tilt in the Gryphons, like, momentum-wise and pressure-wise. However, it could have just been the Hellcats just trying to hang on, not conceding any goals, maybe being a little too passive. But in the end, they had a 2-goal lead. They could play like that speed, and the Gryphons weren't able to convert, on that passive play style that the Hellcats were showing. So it works out for the Hellcats in the end. They go up 1-0 in the series, and a very crucial game one, nerve calming game. Gryphons, they saw opportunities and they just couldn't convert.
Yeah, and it really comes down to we saw Mealey, struggle on the ball a little bit in this game. He had a couple open opportunities to make some open touches and didn't quite get the touches he was looking for or a touch at all. So we're really looking for Mealey, and it looks like he's going to take this full minute, take a deep breath. He's talking it over with his team. And I think they just need to try to boil down to the basics, worry about making good, solid touches and not going for anything super fancy, and slowly build that momentum, which we saw at the end. But the Hellcats, came out strong early, and then all they had to do was lock it down, and that's what they did. So you can't let this Hellcats team lock it down, because Strauto, Sky Newbie are a couple of the best defenders in Challenger League.
Just smart players, know how to defend, and sometimes that's all it takes. A great defense and wins championships. As now J-Rod trying to break through for the first time. Gryphons still have not scored a goal in this series so far. Obviously, only been one game, but getting shut out does not feel good at all, as Mealey not gonna go for that one. I thought J-Rod was passing it to him, but Kiwi actually gonna collect that one, and not for long as he gets demoed by Aeon, and Mealey gets it around another. Mealey does have a pass mid. J-Rod's gonna take it from him, and bang! There we go. 21 seconds in, the Gryphons finally break their scoreless streak.
And just like you talked about, Mealey, one of the top players in assist in Challenger League, J-Rod, one of the top goal scorers. Those two connecting with their, respective stat line that they have, proven themselves all over this season, and gets them their first goal in this series early on and gives them a little life to start this game number 2.
Game number 2 is where I think the series really starts. You got to see how the team bounce back, to be honest, and adjust, as Strauto almost adjusted himself into the net right there. That was a great attempt at a shot. Bounced off both posts, unfortunately. Aeon, last man back, gonna not challenge that one. Mealey, he's not gonna get a touch either. Gonna try to get a 50, and he will. As Kiwi now able to get to that ball first, hits it off the corner, tries to get a follow-up, and he does. That ball bouncing high. Strauto, not a lot of boost, just has to send it to the corner. And Mealey waiting, gonna find a pass to J-Rod, cause why not? And boom, a shot comes in. Mealey not gonna get the finish as Sky Newbie gets the save and gets the follow-up as well. And oh my goodness, he's gonna get a goal to help him out. Why not? I don't know what happened to Kiwi, but Sky Newbie will take that one.
I don't know where Kiwi went. Kiwi
I saw.
got destroyed there. Unfortunate, and Sky Newbie just willing that ball far enough and fast enough past the defender to be able to pick up that boost, and just has a wide open net to dribble that in all the time in the world. But as a pinch shot comes out here by J-Rod, is it going to go in? Off the post, off the backboard, and yes, it is going to find its way in, and they have the advantage yet again.
Oh my goodness. Twitch, I know the chat was dead for a second. It better not be dead now. I better see some insane things being said. This man, J-Rod, has awoken. It is time for him to clip farm. This man just popped off one time, and you're going to see it again, I promise you. However, it's still only a 1-goal lead. Let me calm down a little bit. We got 3.5 minutes left to play. Hellcats, they got to realize, hey, sometimes good goals just happen. Aeon trying to score one himself right there. J-Rod going to get the clear afterwards. Alpha, Strauto, going to get a touch, get the beat, and Kiwi is going to have that one collected. Aeon on the sidewalk. It's a nice 50. That ball floating mid. Is anybody going to be there? It's only going to be Mealey, but Sky Newbie's able to follow that touch. Sky Newbie to the corner. Sky Newbie looking for a 50. J-Rod wins that. J-Rod not a lot of boost, though. Just has to get one touch and a clear. Strauto trying to go for the fake as Sky Newbie takes it from him. A demo, an open net. Can Kiwi put it away? He fakes. What a legend. Not going to go in that time, and sometimes speed hitting the ball is important, as Kiwi demonstrated right there.
Yeah, that was a wide open net. They could have, gone up 2 goals here. Great demo came out too by J-Rod initially to open that up for him, but Strauto on the counterattack brings it up over 1, and he has a wide open net as the Gryphons' third man was just pushed up way too far in that scenario.
Yeah, and it happens again. If I'm not crazy, like, that's how the last goal happened. Obviously, there's a whole team bump as well, but the third man from Gryphons seems just to be a little over-eager to continue that pressure, and I think the counterattack from the Hellcats, it's been pretty lethal so far, allowing them to tie this game right back up. Sky Newbie now trying to get a lead here. Oh, great touch there from Kiwi, and J-Rod sending that one long. Aeon has to get a touch here, and a beautiful touch it is all the way back downfield, playing a little ping pong. Mealey taking a little bit of control. Tries to get around Aeon, and he does. Gets that ball mid. Strauto gonna hit that ball to the side. Guess who's there? It's gonna be J-Rod. J-Rod with a little time. Not that much time, though, as Sky Newbie gets a great challenge. That ball floating in the midfield, and it's not who you want going for that one. Strauto was going for the double. Doesn't get it, as Kiwi had the save off the backboard. He gets another touch off the backboard, too. Gets a nice little catch. I like what I'm seeing here from Kiwi. Just Aeon also in his way. That ball, a double commit. Dangerous touch there from Strauto, and a potential 2-on-1, 3-on-1 opportunity. Mealey, though, doesn't get the bounce he was looking for. Gets the pass he was looking for, though, as Kiwi was able to be there. But that ball bounced off the corner. A demo as well. J-Rod shots. Top shelf. That's why the shooter is him.
Yeah, and we see right there, they had this play drawn up a little earlier, except the plays were reversed. J-Rod trying to get the demo and Kiwi with the shot. And this time, we see Kiwi getting that demo, doing what he does best, and that's just him getting in the way of defenders and just opening it up for J-Rod, and J-Rod's not going to miss an open net like that.
Yeah, Mealey 3 assists, J-Rod 3 goals. I'm just saying the duo is duo-ing right now. Kiwi also, I think he's playing a really smart game. Obviously, there's been a couple mistakes for playing in Jelly League. We're not this ain't Titan, but I think he's doing a good job of controlling the ball and doing what he's supposed to do. Now they just got to hold this lead. We've seen them give away the lead both times, so would like to see them try to hold on, play a little bit better defense, maybe safer thirds, as a good clear there comes out from Kiwi. J-Rod being that third man, gonna get caught out here. Aeon doesn't have the read, though. He thought that was bouncing down, does not get that one. Strauto, a flick over one, but a good follow-up challenge by Mealey. Mealey also getting a great bump there. Kiwi pops it high up to him. Sky Newbie able to get that ball. That ball bounced beautifully for J-Rod, but Aeon also had it red. Strauto, not a lot of boosts. In fact, he's at 0. Kiwi now going to try to pass it down to J-Rod, but Strauto's there with the 100 boost grab as well. Sky Newbie off the sidewall. Sky Newbie also going to get another touch. Probably not, just kind of rushing that one just a little bit. As now Hellcats, they got to look for the equalizer to send us to overtime. J-Rod not going to let it happen that easily as Kiwi's going to pass it back down to Mealey. Some good team play there from Gryphons to get them out of their own half, and with 35 seconds left, Gryphons now back on the attack, trying to start the pressure, not even allow the Hellcats into their own half, but Sky Newbie's able to get past 2. There's a demo chase coming in. The demo comes through, but J-Rod gets back in time. J-Rod makes the save. J-Rod clears the ball. Strauto has a hit off the back wall. Kiwi, can he be there for the shot? No, as that ball just not on target, as Mealey still able to continue this pressure. A good demo there from Kiwi. He's going to allow J-Rod to push up beautifully. Good touch there. Strauto, not a lot of boost. Still gonna touch that ball, bounces mid. They gotta figure out a way to get through. That ball is just floating in their half, but it allows Sky Newbie to get a clear. Down to his teammate Strauto. Strauto in the air. Strauto is dangerous in the air. What a save there from Mealey, securing Gryphons game number 2. And looks like Gryphons have woken up a little bit here, Speed. Hellcats, they were scratching and fighting back, but the J-Rod Mealey duo was just too strong this game.
Yeah, that duo is an insane duo in the Challenger League. And we talked about it at the beginning, and we're going to keep talking about it all night, is those two going to continuously find each other. But what I really like, and you mentioned, is Kiwi. Yes, he's not on the stat board. However, he's doing the little things right. He's making the smart touches. He's getting those really solid clears when his team's really in need of them. And, he's just playing that really good support role, which these two players need. I do want to point out the fact that they do overcommit even when they're up a goal and late, and them getting very bump heavy. Great play style for them, but they need to learn to, just dial it down just a little bit towards the end, because it's going to continuously push them further and further upfield, and that's going to end up getting them in trouble, as we saw in game number 1. Hellcats, though, going to battle it out. Strato, Sky Newbie looking dangerous. Even in that game, they fought tooth and nail to the end, and they kept finding a way to climb back into it and tie it up. In the end, Gryphons just edging them out. But, if you're the Gryphons, yes, you got that first win of the series in game number 2, but you cannot let the Hellcats keep battling back like that, as it's going to take a huge toll on your mental.
It was a back and forth game for sure. Now, who can really secure it is the next question. Is 1-1, obviously, as J-Rod going to have a free save there from Aeon. A double commit from Hellcats is going to force Sky Newbie to be last man back, although he's pretty comfortable in that role as he gets a beat on 2, and Aeon's now looking for the counter. J-Rod going to have that touch, though. Strauto, he's going to get a touch, and that boost is not going to be grabbed by Mealey, so the ball's a little awkward for him. Strauto still continuing this pressure. Sky Newbie not going to have a shot. Going to get one touch, though. Couldn't get a follow-up. Mealey now trying to take control, but doesn't get the touch. J-Rod past one. Trying to get a follow-up touch, as he and Strauto both commit for that ball. Kiwi with the fake, and Mealey is back in time for that one. As now Mealey going to try to get another clear. Not a lot of boost. A double demo results in just Mealey back with 0 boost, but no shooter there either for the Hellcats until a free pass there from Strauto. Now, once again, the Hellcats pressure is continuing. This is a lot of pressure. Some of the most pressure I've seen from them all series long. Finally, some midfield aggression, I feel like, out of them, as Aeon now trying to find a pass. Made that ball rolling. Strauto, that 50 goes in favor of Gryphons, as Kiwi is once again able to get another touch and go for the double attempt. He doesn't hit it, but Mealey's there for the follow. That would have been an insane shot from Kiwi, but he does get the assist. A great play there from the Gryphons.
Yeah, and Kiwi just barely missing that. And I think he had the angle too if he would have just got his nose on the ball. But, it still works out in their favor. And again, Kiwi doing the good and little things for this Gryphons team. Great clear, and puts it in a great spot for him or his teammates to be able to follow it up, as J-Rod is going to put in a second one here for the Gryphons. And the Gryphons are really starting to look alive.
Yeah, and this is just a good read. Like, he realizes, hey, if he misses this ball, it's a free net. And so sometimes playing the lift speed, it's the best thing to do in the game. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes players suck. It happens. Players miss all the time. J-Rod just played the whip there, and it resulted in a free shot for him. Now, Hellcats, being down 2 goals early like this is not what you want to see. Going to be down 3 goals early because Mealey doesn't miss this shot. Okay, anyway. That one gonna be left up, not on the scoreboard, as it's still 2-0 here. Definitely a free opportunity for the Griffins, but Hellcats will take that one. As Hellcats, once again, like I said, they're down 2-0. Haven't seen this from them. I want to see if they are able to really start to bounce back here. A good demo there. The player I'm looking at to do it is Strauto. And guess who has the ball? Guess who has the boost? Can he get a follow-up? He gets a touch towards the midfield with the help of Mealey, but still, not a really good follow-up attempt from his teammates. Hellcats really need to start ramping up that aggression again. However, this could be a great time to do it. A good bump there from J-Rod allows Mealey to get the save and the clear. Strauto could not get a touch on that ball, so Kiwi's going to send it all the way down. Aeon's there. Not a great touch. Aeon has to get another one, and he does. Kiwi all the way back. Still going to get a beat on that ball. Not a great touch, though. That ball still is going to get met by Kiwi. I think a Hellcats player was up. So now Kiwi trying to look for a counterattack. That ball floating once again. And these 50s, they're just going high. They're getting lofted, and really not a lot of offense coming from either team out of them. But that definitely does favor the Gryphons here as they are up 2-0. Hellcats really just don't seem to have much getting started, as that could have been an opportunity, but instead, the double commit whiff results in a free shot for Mealey somehow. I don't know, but it makes sense to me.
Yeah, J-Rod was hoping that Q was going to leave it for him, but he gets the touch. He gets the defenders of the Hellcats not knowing what's going on, and Mealey, he's right there. He's just going to put that in the wide open net, and he's going to bust this game number 3 wide open as they get their third goal unanswered here, as another shot's coming out by J-Rod, and he just barely misses that one.
Yeah, Kiwi and Mealey almost connected there as well for another shot. Just seems like the Gryphons finally have awoken. Their offense is waking up. Their defense was, in my opinion, the sketchy part in game number 1. We saw their offense start to, find bits and pieces, and then it finally started all clicking in game 2. This game as well just seems to be another just step up for the Gryphons here. Hellcats, they need to find an answer. They need to find one quickly. They are running out of time. Only a minute and a half remaining. Kiwi looking for the pass down to J-Rod. J-Rod's shot is good, but Aeon save just better. Mealey now with one touch, trying to get a follow. Not going to get it, as SkyNewbie couldn't get a touch either, but Kiwi is on the wall. That ball's going to bounce down. Can Kiwi have the read? He has the dunk on to Strauto, so that ball going to go over to Mealey, but a good dunk there from SkyNewbie as J-Rod. Not a lot of boost. Can it be an opportunity here for the Hellcats? Mealey not going to go for that ball, just going to leave it. Aeon going to take his time. Gets a fake on one. Couldn't get past another, though. SkyNewbie, that one's going to bounce towards the midfield, and the only one there is J-Rod and Mealey, but only the Gryphons. No Hellcats players were there, and they just don't seem willing to just send everything for a goal. But at this point, they are down by 3. A good bump there results in a free net. Mealey couldn't get back. Finally, Hellcats are on the board again, and it was just off the back of a really good bump there by, I believe that was Strauto.
Yeah, they had a demo come out, and then the back bump there by Strauto, and SkyNewbie just had to put it on target, and that's what he did. He lofted it up. Mealey spawned in, still not able to get there in time. Give them life with 50 seconds left to go here, but Kiwi's looking to put in another one, and he gets that answer right back here for the Gryphons.
Yeah, Kiwi getting himself on the board. He had a couple of assists already. Why not get himself a goal? And that's the kind of goal that kind of, I'm not going to say it seals the deal, but it kind of seals the deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's mentally, you get a goal, then they get a kickoff goal right back. Just a 3-goal lead as well with this little time left. If you are Hellcats, you're definitely not banking on winning this game. That's all I'm going to say. Is now another great challenge there from Mealey. Mealey dropping himself a hat trick. Just had Strauto read like a book. Literally pre-jumped that one. What a beautiful shot there.
Yeah, and Kiwi was sitting in the net waiting for that too, and so Mealey was able to afford to try to pre-jump that shot/pass across the middle, and it works out for him as, they put in their 5th goal, and they opened up the scoring for themselves after not scoring in the first game. They've shut down Strauto really well in this game. Every time he's gone up for the ball, they've been right on him, bumping him, not allowing him to get more than one touch, but a dunk's going to come out by SkyNewbie and give a little bit of momentum heading into this game number 3. Or 4, excuse me.
Yeah, this is just a good dunk by SkyNewbie, but also I just felt like the defense was just a little awkward, and finally the Hellcats were able to notice that and just kind of send it. Like, that was the first time I've ever seen a Hellcats player just kind of dive at the ball, for a random 50. Aeon's doing it right there, and guess what? That could be an opportunity for SkyNewbie. We're not going to talk about the shot attempts, but that's just another great, observation of whenever they do just kind of dive and throw themselves at the ball. Sometimes, it does work pretty well. J-Rod now looking for a pass. That one's going over to Kiwi. Kiwi going to get saved away by Sky Newbie. And, with 5 seconds left, this game is literally all but over. These seconds are just a formality as a 3-goal lead here. Nice game 3 win here as well from the Gryphons. I felt like I said, we saw it in game, towards the end of game 1, Speed. I thought the Gryphons, they had a lot of pressure. Their passes weren't exactly connecting, or the shooter wasn't there. And then game 2, it seemed to be a little cleaner, but their defense was giving up a couple goals. This time, it was, okay, now we're just going to dominate. You're going to get 2 goals that honestly, it looks like, the Hellcats had more, had a good amount of shots compared to the other games, but I felt like the Gryphons were much more in control this game.
Yeah, and a lot of those shots from the Hellcats came out late when they did start just, sending the house. They needed to get a goal. They were down by 2 or 3 goals. So there's nothing to lose at that point. The game's already kind of out of reach. You just got to send it. And they look a lot better. They play a lot faster that way. They create a lot of more chaos here for the Griffins defense. But they are going to take a timeout here, which is smart. You just get blown out 5-2 here in game number 3 after winning the first game, and you're now down 2-1 in this series. So I think it's a great call to use that timeout here. But what do you think they need to change other than, just getting more aggressive? Because if they get more aggressive, that might mess up their rotations.
There's a certain man on the bench, Speed, that I think it's time to unleash him. He was a prospect goat. Debatably, not debatably, the best player in prospect. Sorry, Rockerman. I think Lucky needs to unbuckle his seatbelt, put the pedal to the metal, and come flying in and start making some spectacular plays, because I know that man can play ball. I think we get this man Lucky on the pitch, we get a better series. That's all I'm saying. I think it's going to be great. But if we don't do that, here are a couple things. This is what I would want to see. I think the Griffins have done a really good job of finding good bumps and finding really good passes. So the way you change that, or the way you counter that, is you start having one man play the pass mid, and then you have one man kind of just diving at the ball that we've kind of seen. So it forces them to make a decision. They don't get time. You give this Griffins team time, they're going to get those counterattacks. And they found a lot of counterattacks, and they found great opportunities because of it. So I think you got to send someone. Just send somebody. Get some idiot on the ball and just send them. And I think that's going to work wonders, Speed. I just think they're playing a little too scaredy cat right now. That's all.
Yeah, I would have to agree. They definitely are being a little timid here. I think, Aeon's got to be that one to just kind of, monkey and really just get in their face and make them make mistakes, make them make poor touches, and let Strauto and Sky Newbie just eat out there. As we know, they both can. Aeon's kind of struggled a little bit in this series so far, so I think that's the way he can really help open things up for his team.
Yeah. Also, maybe some demos. We saw a good amount of physical play. In fact, one of the goals was last game was a bump from Strauto. So physical play will work on both ends of the ball, defense and offense. So would like to see that from the Hellcats as well. They are definitely capable of it. As now, I want to see. I've seen Strauto cook a lot. I'd like to see the others. Sky Newbie's also played pretty well, like you said. Aeon, I feel like, has had a quieter series. So hopefully he's able to step up here and at least tie up this series, give Hellcats the fighting chance that honestly they deserve. As J-Rod going to get a nice beat there on Sky Newbie. Strato's going to have a touch. That ball going to bounce high. Not the best bounce for him as Mealey's able to meet him there. But that ball does bounce. A nice little roller there for Kiwi. Kiwi going to get over Aeon. Sky Newbie last man back. Oh, Kiwi. I don't know what he did. I don't know what kind of turbo flick that was, but it worked out for him. Sky Newbie's going to get the demo into the save as well, though. Great play there from him. Aeon tripping over himself. Could not get the touch on that ball or the boost, but a great 50 there from Strauto, sending that ball all the way down. Mealey doesn't have the read. Strauto doesn't have the shot, though, as that ball hits the backboard. And Sky Newbie now going to hit that one off the corner. Aeon not going to be there in time as J-Rod gets the first touch. Doesn't get the 50, though. Sky Newbie going to pass it over to Strauto. Strauto to the corner. Strauto could have a double here. That double not going to be the best touch, though, as Mealey's going to have a free clear. And 3 minutes remaining. Oh, 2 minutes gone already. It feels like both these teams, really haven't had a great opportunity. Yeah, they don't have a single shot yet. Just playing the midfield game. And honestly, games like this, I don't think are bad for the Hellcats. This is kind of what they need to do. They have a lot of pressure. It feels like just need to convert those into shots. Is now Strauto going to look for a pass? He's going to go for the fake instead. Skynubi going to go for the double, gets it over J-Rod. Not going to have a follow-up touch. It's going to be Strauto, though, with the bump as well. Aeon not willing to commit, not willing to get counterattacked, but still almost a great opportunity there for the Gryphons, as it felt like the Hellcats had all the pressure there, and then boom, all of a sudden J-Rod and Mealey connected for a counterattack, their speed, and they might look to do it right here again. Strauto has to get a touch, and he does. Skynubi, can he get a bump? He can. Just saving the day halfway through this game speed. Man, so much has happened, but so little has happened at the same time.
Yeah, it's crazy. We still haven't seen a registered shot yet in this game, and we're almost 3 full minutes in. And, I think the longer that this game goes without a shot, like you said, definitely goes in favor of the Hellcats. They don't get a lot of shots. We haven't seen them put on a lot of shots so far this series. Even in that win that they had
Oh,
is a good attempt off the
oh.
backboard, but that one's going to be sent just wide as we do hit the 2 minute mark remaining here. Mealey trying to get a pass up over one. He does. Kiwi's there, but doesn't have a lot of boost and isn't able to follow that one well.
Aeon also faked that touch on the backboard, or he just didn't get a touch. Either way, that could have been a shooting opportunity, but nobody from the Gryphons was there. Okay, whoo, I didn't think it was gonna go in. I thought they would have the save, but this one might go. I don't know. Gryphons, they seem to be applying the pressure now. A couple great saves come out from the Hellcats, but finally we got a shot on the board. At least that one would have been a beaut. Kiwi gonna get another shot there. That one still more pressure here for the Gryphons. And oh, a great save there from Strauto. A huge save there. Mealey didn't place it perfectly, but it was enough. But Strauto did have the save. Kiwi now gonna try to shoot that one bottom left. Not gonna go through as Aeon gets a save. And now it feels like the Gryphons' pressure starts to mount once again. J-Rod going for the pass mid. Strauto able to get the clear. Skynubi's over there, but a great touch there. I don't know who it was, but it was Kiwi, and it goes straight to J-Rod. What a 50.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a 50. Skynubi
Oh,
tried to come down, but didn't realize that that the Griffin's Kiwi was sitting right there and pinches it right over to J-Rod, and he's gonna give him that goal late as we only have a minute remaining. And Hellcats still haven't registered a shot, and they've just allowing the Griffins to continuously in the last minute pound 5 shots on them.
yeah, and it was so quick, too. I felt like the Griffin just kind of turned it on, and man, oh man, they turned it on again. Mealey gonna get that goal. J-Rob with a nice 50, but just a better follow-up touch as well. Mealey's placement is just beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. And, they finally broke him down after that long minute of boost stealing and just keeping it constant pressure in their defensive third. And now easily putting up a second goal here, not even 10 seconds later. But Strauto
Oh,
trying to get an answer of his own off of the double tap, unable to read it. Skynubi is there. Can he get a touch middle? No, he's going to get dunked out by Kiwi, but that's right over to Aeon. And that one's going to get dunked. And Kiwi's trying to save the day and clear this one. And he does
oh.
with another beautiful dunk, doing what Kiwi's done all series long.
Yeah, it's just the little things. I don't know. I like this Kiwi guy. He does the little things, man. That's what I appreciate out of him. This Kiwi gets another good touch there, trying to continue the pressure. That one pops high. Skynubi not going to have the touch at J-Ron. He takes advantage every time. If you don't touch the ball, J-Ron's going to be there.
And, Strauto trying to make a touch there. I think it would have been better if he had left it for Skynubi, who had plenty of boost to work with and better, positioning. But, you got to make something happen. It's down late in the game. You're already down 2 goals. So the pressure is on here. And I'm curious. We talked about it after last game about subbing in Lucky. And I think at this point, it's not really working. You had the first game go in your favor, but that was with a slow, sluggish Griffins here. And now they've awoken the beast of the Griffins. And I think you have to make a roster move here. Lucky can handle playing up in Challenger League. It's just whether they have the time played with Lucky to feel comfortable putting him in.
Yeah, it's whether they have the cojones to put him in. That's what it really is. I'll be honest. The asterisks here really really do need a change. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think that they're playing bad. They just aren't playing like winning Rocket League. I don't know how to say it. Like they are just. I mean, this is gonna be a throwback, man. But I'm trying to think of the team now. Oh man, it was an RLCS. It was a team. It was like, oh, it was a red and blue team. I don't know. They just played defensive the entire time, and like they would counterattack and like they would win 1-0 games, or they would get scored on like and lose 4-0. And it was just like, is that really how you want to play the game? Like, is that like it's boring? One, it's just not winning Rocket League. Yes, E United. Shout out Crip. United, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And dude, it just felt like this is the same play style for the Hellcats. It is one player trying to make a solo play happen. You're gonna see that in Hydra as well in this next series. I promise you that. It's those players are a little bit better. I ain't gonna cap, but I'm just saying it's just not winning in my opinion. You got to be so much better mechanically. Um, and I just don't think that they're at that level. And honestly, I think this Griffins team is doing a really good job of challenging early and forcing the players to go a certain way, and like their third man being there. Yeah, I'll talk about this game in a second, but I just want to talk about like that last goal where Kiwi was the last man and Sky Newbie didn't see him coming and he got a great 50 and it went straight to J Rod. I guess it wasn't the last goal, it was the first goal, but it was just it just kind of felt like, oh yeah, like that's the only place where Strauto could hit the ball. Like obviously Kiwi's going to be there, and I think Griffins have done a great job of doing that. Now, this game so far, it's been a fairly it's only been 30 seconds, but it's been back and forth once again, and just like last game speed, not a lot of shots early. I lied. Here's J-Rod. Just put him in the back of the net, why don't you? This is he is the #2 goal scorer for a reason.
Yes, he is. And, Caster Curse at its finest. Not talking about a shot as we get our first shot and our first goal coming out here from the Griffins. And just beautifully set up by Kiwi yet again, doing the little things, saves, goals when needed, awesome assists. And he's really been the all around player here in this game, really keeping this, Griffins team just all around, solid here as he gets another big 50 out here. And this one's just going to get sent to the sidewall. Mealey's going to beat Aeon, who had plenty of boost on the sidewall. And, Hellcats just don't have much of an answer right now against this fast-paced, well-rotated Griffins roster.
Yeah, and so far, once again, just feels like the Griffins every touch, they have an answer for. And there's Mealey off of an attempt of a pass, I'm assuming, as J-Rod was there for the follow-up, trying to get it back to Mealey as, a double whiff. Kiwi shot, it was a clanger, but Aeon able to make a great save there. Sky Newbie gonna try to pass it mid, but nobody's mid because J-Rod got a great demo. J-Rod now going for the shot, and maybe it should be a pass back to Mealey. I don't know. He doesn't know either. Is Kiwi gonna go for that touch? He's gonna try to get a follow-up. Gets dunked by Aeon. Strauto with a great touch there. That one's gonna be bouncing down. Mealey going for the squishy. He does get the save, but no touch came through from the Hellcats. As Kiwi now with no boost, able to get up to 100 and get the beat on Sky Newbie. Strauto though continuing the pressure. Aeon off the sidewall. The only one there. There's a backwards Mealey. He's able to get a flick over one. Kiwi to the sidewall. Kiwi, can he get the double? No, but he gets a great fake. Sky Newbie, though, had that one. Red gets a pop over another. Sky Newbie, no boost. And now he has no life as a demo comes through. 2 minutes down and still 1-0 lead here for Griffins. Hellcats still only one shot on the board. Trying to make it another there, but just blocked very easily by J-Rod as Strauto now. That ball over his head. Sky Newbie in the corner. A great pre-jump there from Mealey. Just, like I said, they're just kind of sending it. They're not giving these Hellcat players any time. They know they want to air dribble, and they're just not allowing them the space and the boost to do that.
No, they're really not. And that's what Strauto wants to live by. He's really good at the air. He's really good at, beating two defenders and setting up his teammates. And the Griffins just are not allowing that as Sky Newbie sends this one off the backboard. Can he get the touch? He can. And that one is going to find its way in. And that's probably one of the slowest goals we've seen this series, but definitely the biggest one in the Hellcats series so far.
Yeah, and honestly, it was just J-Rod being a little too pushed up. I think he thought... I think he thought that Mealey was going to get a harder touch, but Mealey, he was trying to control it a little bit and then get a pass, I'm assuming. But in the end, just a miscommunication from the Griffins, leaving that net open. A touch there from Mealey gets saved away as Mealey and Sky Newbie were holding hands for a second there. Aeon and Strauto combined for a little pinch clear. Kiwi pops that ball high, gets a 50 with Aeon as well. Mealey does a full 360 to get a challenge on that ball, and he does so beautifully. Can he get a follow-up touch? He can. Around Sky Newbie as well with a beautiful touch from him. J-Rod couldn't get there in time. Aeon was already on top of it. Now Strauto over to Aeon. A great passing play there to get them out of their own half. A quick turnaround here as Mealey now gets one touch, trying to get a follow-up. Goes for the reset, and he gets it over to Kiwi. Kiwi gets a nice 50, a double commit, and a backflip here from Sky Newbie. As now that ball floating mid once again. Strauto and Aeon do double commit, but that ball does get cleared. That ball bouncing mid now. It's going to be Sky Newbie and Strauto colliding. Strauto just trying to take that one to the wall, get a little bit of time in the air. Doesn't get the resets. And so that ball gonna just not go towards the mid at all. Aeon now with a nice 50 over to Sky Newbie. Sky Newbie shot just off the post. Could have been a lead for the Hellcats, and I think since game one. That is a crazy bump as well from Kiwi, but no shooter there. J-Rod wasn't quite ready for it. 50 seconds remaining. Game tied 1-1 for the first time in a long time. As it seems like we might be headed to overtime, or at least some late scoring action. I don't know here, Speed, but the Hellcats, they gotta do something.
They do got to do something. And Aeon gets a great 50 out to Kiwi, but Kiwi's going to bang it. Mealey's off the
Oh,
backboard. He's going to look for the pass down. He does. Kiwi unable to get it as Strauto's racing back and makes a great save to keep this game tied at 1 apiece with the final 25 seconds. But J-Rod goes up, gets dunked out again. Mealey slots this one just wide. J-Rod's still there. He gets the soft touch. The Hellcats defenders, not a lot of boost. Finally get this cleared out as Mealey has to try to just 50 this one as he doesn't have a lot of boost as we hit final 9 seconds left.
and 9 seconds left, and it just seems like, once again, Aeon has an opportunity here. That touch, though, just not what you're looking for. And DJD, I'm just saying, that's not the best player in the series on the Hellcat side. That's all I'm saying, DJD. I don't know what you're yapping about. Anyway, that's going to be almost a great shot there, just wide. Not going to go in. Another very close opportunity, but we have overtime for the first time this series, I think. Not positive on that one. Sky Newbie now trying to get a touch. That one not going to go through. Strauto going to get a touch off the sidewalk. Kiwi going to try to get it clear. Down to J-Rod. J-Rod not going to get the touches. He had no boost. Strauto with a nice doink, but Mealey there for the save. Calm, cool, collected. Mealey in the back of the net. Just, he's not giving a care about anything in front of him as long as he can save that ball. As now he's looking for a pass down to J-Rod. And this one, could have been dangerous. A great save there from Aeon. A double commit from Sky Newbie and Strauto. Could be a dangerous counterattack. Aeon sitting all the way back. Oh, J-Rod with the fake. Mealey has to get a save. He pops that one high. Could be an opportunity for Strauto, but Strauto's all the way back. Definitely not what you want if you are the Hellcats. Could have been a great opportunity. Just not there to capitalize at all. A double commit here from Aeon and Sky Newbie. Mealey, last man, could not beat Strauto. Kiwi up in the air. Maybe looking for the pass. No, that one's off the back wall. Can he get the double? He can. That's over 2 in the corner. It's kind of awkward. J-Rod pops that ball, but a great 50 there. We're a minute into overtime still. No real threatening opportunities. Kiwi now trying to pop that ball high to his teammate. No, he's going to try to follow it himself. Strauto going to be the first one there, though, as Mealey tries to get a follow-up, tries to get this ball cleared. Sky Newbie's going to get an instant shout. J-Rod tries to pop that ball out to him, or to Mealey, but goes straight to Aeon. Aeon trying to get a follow-up, but it's going to be Kiwi through the long clear. Strauto pops that ball high. He's dangerous. Goes to the backboard. Can he get a double? No, he's over to Sky Newbie, though. Sky Newbie also to the backboard, but J-Rod's waiting for that one. Aeon has to keep this ball in play, and he does. A great touch, but doesn't get the follow. Going for the bump instead, but still, no Hellcats player to follow that one up. Strauto, he's there now, but Mealey's able to flick it over one. Sky Newbie able to get the follow-up. Mealey, no boost. Kiwi on the back wall, kind of awkward. Strauto shot, not a great one as Kiwi still gets the save. J-Rod with a little bit of boost, gets a fake on 2! Oh my goodness! Put the series in the bag! It's J-Rod!
J-Rod, who do you expect to score the overtime game and advance, send his team advancing to the semifinals? It's J-Rod. He had so many of the goals here for the Gryphons, and he's going to do it. What a beautiful fake. They thought they were going to get the 50, and J-Rod goes, nope, I'm just going to drop this onto you, and just able to walk this one into the back of the net and send this one away in 5 as they now have a date with potentially Ascension or Snowstorm.
Yep, and man, oh man, they are hoping they play Snowstorm. iTrots will choke, but Ascension Snowstorm, it'll be a fun one. But man, this was a good series. I predicted Griffins in 4 because they had just been so hot. They came out a little slow, and then it could. I'm gonna say it felt dominant, but it felt pretty close to dominant. I mean, like, I don't know if you agree with me here, Speed, but it felt like there weren't the mistakes just weren't getting capitalized on the side of Hellcats. I felt like Hellcats were playing so passive that the Griffins could kind of do whatever they wanted. And to be honest, they kind of could. So going forward, if they play this like Ascension team, I feel like they're going to get a little bit more pushback. They're going to get their third man on the Griffin side. It did get caught out a couple times, so things to look at if you're the Griffins. If you want to see some improvements going into the semifinals, but still. It was a great series. Congratulations to them. Shout out for the Hellcats for a great season. I mean, they were the 3rd seed. They were a very good team. Fell just short, sadly. But to be honest, Speed, man, having a 5-game series is perfect for our timing because we were a little bit behind, but now we're pretty good. So mean, if you've got nothing else to say, I mean, obviously we got some great matches coming up later, but if you got nothing else to say, I think it's time we head out of here.
I don't got much to say. I just want to say, good luck, Griffins, on the rest of your season. Unfortunate Hellcats. You definitely, earned that 3 seed. You guys look good. Just fell short against a really hot Griffin team, like you said. They didn't have their starters for a lot of the season, which is why they fell down a little bit. They probably should have been a little bit of a higher seed, but hey, that's what happens, right? Can't always get everybody on every match, but we do have two more great matches remaining for the night, so we will take a short break, and we will be back with some rival league action.
Doses.